Hello everyone. We know how difficult CSAT has become. We have seen that in the recent prelims paper in 2023. I just wanted to share my notes on CSAT. Although I failed in the exam, but I just wanted to give an idea as to how to approach, how to make notes on CSAT, because again there are certain conceptual questions, and sometimes the questions are conceptual, but they are time taking. And if you have to solve that particular question in less and less time possible, you need to have first a lot of practice, and second you need to have tricks also. So those tricks you have to mention somewhere. There are certain formulas that are very important. Those formulas you have to write, right? So for that you need a comprehensive document where you can make these notes. Now there are two options. You can either use either make notes on offline or in online format. In this case I have made the notes in digital and online format. Online, why am I saying online? Because I have uploaded the copy of this CSAT notes file. This is again a PDF file. I'll share that with you in details. This copy has been uploaded on the Google Drive, and wherever I wish to revise this, I can access this file from virtually anywhere around the world, right? So wherever I have the internet connectivity, I can always download the file on any device, right? I just need to have a link, right, and a few login credentials. So this is the benefit of having online notes. So these are the notes that I've prepared, I think. And later in this prelims I realized that even this is not sufficient. Even this much, I think I had given around 2 or 3 weeks for preparing for CSAT dedicatedly this time, and I made these notes, and still I don't think these are sufficient, because the level of questions are very difficult this time. So but again, anyways, coming back to the point, these are the notes and they are around 110 pages. So I'll just briefly take you through these notes. For instance, there are some important information that I have given to myself. There are certain important instructions that are given to myself in the beginning. For instance, no overconfidence in solving quadratic equations. I knew while solving that I'm making mistakes in the quadratic equation, so I need to make sure that I do not make this. I'm not overconfident while solving these equations. So there are certain. Okay, now these are the tables, and I think most of us have forgotten these tables, because I think even in my case, it's been 3 years since I graduated. So even being an engineer myself, I have forgotten these tables. So I had to add these tables, right? There's no shame in doing this. Again, these are easy, not really required, but again from 11 to 20, 11 to 19 I would say it becomes a bit trickier, so you can just go through it again. Now these are the tables. Then again, CSAT's analysis, we have comprehension, math, reasoning, right? So strategy has been discussed. Now quadratic equations, there are 2 methods of solving quadratic equation. These methods have been explained because they come very handy while solving the equations. Even whenever you solve a normal CSAT problem, it ultimately ends up into becoming it ends up becoming a quadratic equation. In that case, you must know that how to solve these and how to approach these quadratic equations. Similarly, we have seating arrangement problems. So this is the circular arrangement, then we have the linear arrangement, then we have blood relation. Then in blood relation we have to use certain arrows and diagrams for better understanding, so that I have also mentioned. Similarly, again this is I think this is a bit stupid, but for me I get very confused as far as the relationship chart is concerned, right? So for me it is very difficult to remember relations. So what I have done in Marathi, I have added that mamache and kakache mulo, these are called cousins. Similarly, there are certain like then bhavacha and bahinicha mulga, they are known as nephew. Bhavachi and bahinichi mulgi, these are called niece. So I get very confused, so I have done this for myself, right? Similarly, we have coding and decoding. Then we have the direction sense. Again, in direction sense it is totally logical reasoning, but sometimes the direction sense might involve some mathematical component, and for that you should know this Pythagoras theorem, and that's it. Then syllogism, then Venn diagrams. Okay, then dice, important. Cube rules, total cubes. Okay, box surfaces. I mean, if I open a box, what would be the surface, right? What would be the surface that I'll get? So this type of surface I'll get. And if I close the box again, which side would be where, right? So let's say first side would be would be adjacent to 3, so that I must know. And there are certain tricks given here. Similarly, we have clock, cause and effect, clock, ages, problem on ages, profit and loss, right? So profit loss. Then there are certain tricks that are very important for saving your time on the exam day. Then important problems, time and work. Then there's a very interesting type of questions known as alternate days, right? So in time and work, if there's any person, let's say, who is working not regularly, but he's working on X day and then he has a gap of three days, then he's working again. These are called as alternate days. And how to calculate how to solve these problems on alternate days, for that there are certain tricks that I have mentioned here. Then speed, time and distance, boat and streams, averages, ratio and proportion, numbers. Now again, this is a very confusing aspect of numbers: natural number, whole numbers, integers, prime numbers, right? Even you have to remember a few prime numbers. It comes very handy while solving the questions, especially in LCMs and HCFs. Then we have composite numbers. So LCM and HCF, rules of divisibility, set theory, data interpretation, indices and surds, again you might ask a question as to why have I written in such a large font. It was because I was bored, to be honest. I was doing this for around 2 to 3 weeks and I was literally bored to this point, but I had to do it anyways. So, okay, now we have another topic, remainder theorem, square roots and cube roots, fractions, punchlines, simple and compound interests, mensuration, right, pipes and cisterns, alligation and mixtures, and that's it. I think the purpose of this video was not to tell you what to read and what not to read, but to understand as to how to make notes, right? So if you really want to use make notes digitally, you can always use apps like Google Good Notes 5 and Notability. So these notes are made using the Google Notes 5, so you can get a reference as to how would you expect, how many features would you expect while making the notes. So just a second, I'll go through the first page. So this is the first page. So I think these are the notes, right? So thank you so much.